What's up, guys? Welcome back to Culture Cantina. I'm one of your hosts, Rocky Kari.
And I'm Shrikari.
And today we are reviewing Season 2 of The Mandalorian.
So The Mandalorian is a live-action Star Wars show on the streaming platform Disney+. Season 1 came out last year with the release of Disney+. And now the finale of Season 2 just came out. Now we have 2 seasons of Star Wars The Mandalorian.
So on this channel, we actually reviewed the first episode of The Mandalorian and also the first season, and we both really liked it. We were really excited with how the story was going for the first live-action Star Wars show, and we were really excited to see where The Mandalorian would go. So first, we're going to give our spoiler-free thoughts, and then we're going to give our rating, and then go into our spoiler thoughts. So do you want to start?
Yeah, for sure. For me, overall, I loved Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I think that it just did a great job taking what it established in Season 1 and just kind of naturally progressing the plot where it's supposed to go. I think the characters of The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, they just establish it so well in the first season, and they really build off that relationship in the second season, and you really see that as the kind of plot evolves. We also see some new characters return, which was great to see, and I think they did a phenomenal job as they did in Season 1. And I think the big part about Season 2, which I liked relative to Season 1, is that they brought in a lot of new characters who were just as good as the characters we saw in Season 1 and who just fit so well in this plot. So overall, I think the characters, the new characters, overall it was great. Everything that about Star Wars is in it, the fantastic music, the amazing action, the interesting plots, the feeling of a huge galaxy, but also really interpersonal, important, close stories between characters. So overall, I would say loved Season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Wow, very well said, and you took my words right out of my mouth. Mandalorian Season 1 really felt like Star Wars, but Season 2 really amped it up in terms of not only the locations, but also where it takes the characters, like you mentioned with new characters. I overall really liked this season. Like, everything that made Season 1 good, like the action, the music, all of the elements of it, really just became even better. I was really happy with the twists and turns in Season 2, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section.
Right.
So yeah, overall, I was very happy with this season.
I think there was only one episode that I did not like, but the other 7 out of the 8 that were there, I just loved it. Like, they were just awesome. They were, like, 6 of them were just like, oh
insane.
My God, this is top tier filmmaking. This is top tier Star Wars. So yes, I would agree completely with what you said, and again, it was very consistent. But for Season 2, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think that this was an amazing season. I do think that it's better than Season 1. Again, there was one episode that I did not like, and I will talk about the episode in the spoiler version. I think that's the worst episode of the entire show, 16 episodes. One episode was good, and 6 out of the 8 were just amazing, like 9 or above. So, like, just giving that, and just, like, even with that bad episode, this was just jam-packed with amazing characters, great feel, great energy, really emotional, amazing finale. So yeah, I'm going to give Season 2 of The Mandalorian a 9 out of 10.
Again, comparing Season 1 to Season 2 for me, I think that Season 2 just took the foundation and made it bigger. Not only bigger, but better as well, because you can't just make it big and expect things to get better. The writing also has to, carry it, and the writing definitely did. So for me, I'm going to also give this a 9 out of 10. I think this is an amazing Season 2. Season 3, I hope it continues to go in this direction. Season 2 is any indication. I think this is a fantastic show, and I cannot wait to see what's in store. So for me, 9 out of 10.
So you would say it was better than Season 1?
I would say it's better, yeah, definitely. There's like maybe certain episodes in Season 1 I like more than certain episodes, but like if you just take it as a whole, I think Season 2 was just insane.
Nice.
So now we're going to get into our spoiler thoughts. So if you have not seen Mandalorian Season 2, leave right now and come back to hear our thoughts.
So it starts off, Episode 1, Mando is looking for another Mandalorian. We hear news of someone who wears the armor, and we think it's Boba Fett, and we see it's actually Cobb Vanth, and yeah, I mean, I thought that was a great intro to the season.
Yeah.
I thought that them fighting that huge monster in the beginning, that was really entertaining.
One thing, interjection I want to give, the action in that scene was just insane. Like, all the effects, the camera work, how many extras they have, the animatronic / special effects of the Krayt Dragon, insane. It felt like I was watching a movie, but no, it's a freaking TV show. So cool.
It was awesome, And then then Boba Fett comes at the ending.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, and we're just like, oh my god, like, I mean, we knew it was gonna happen. It was just amazing just seeing him in his face, and just, it's gonna happen.
So then we get to episode 2, and I'll let you take it away.
So yeah, as I mentioned in my spoiler-free, this is the worst episode of The Mandalorian. They meet the fish lady. I don't even know what her...
Fish Lady. Our official name is Fish Lady.
Why? It's so stupid. But, like, such a filler episode. I'm just like, why? You just needed to fill stuff in. It's just a letdown. Episode 2, did not like it. It was bad. 5 out of 10, or 6 out of 10. I don't know, but I didn't like episode 2.
So I wouldn't say it's a bad episode, because I liked...
What happened?
Like, dude, you have the...
Grogu eats eggs.
You have the action with the spiders. The ice spiders.
But, like, relative to all
yes,
the stuff that happens,
but it's still it's still enjoyable.
It's such filler. Like, oh my god.
But
I hated episode 2.
But then we get 3 through 8, just banger after banger after banger of an episode with, and this is what I wanted to talk about this in the spoiler-free section, but all of the legacy characters that they bring, like we got Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, like it's just crazy that you would think that having these characters would take the spotlight away from the Mandalorian, but it only exceeds and helps the plot. You know what I mean? Like it just makes it way more. You're way more interested because now you have these other characters you know from other things. And even if you have not seen them from other things, like for example, we watched this with our dad, and our dad, for example, didn't know who Bo-Katan was. But the way that they describe it, you automatically get who she is and what her whole MO is. I really like that. I think that takes very skillful writing to be able to make it so that even people who don't know these characters still get it.
Episode 4, I just want to mention, that I think had the best action besides episode 8.
When they take out the base.
Yes, that just felt like That was Star Wars. I was just took a step back and I was just smiling. I had the old characters back, and yeah, that was a great episode too.
When you say old characters, like the season 1 characters.
The season 1 characters.
And that's amazing because it's not like when you said old characters, I was like, oh, does he mean like original trilogy? But no, they're original characters to the Mandalorian. Yeah. And that's so cool that the Mandalorian has become, now when we see them, we're like, hey, they're back.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Absolutely. And we get Grogu, his name.
Oh my god,
yeah. Baby Yoda, his name is Grogu. I like that.
What do you think of the name?
It's fine. Just Grogu.
I mean, I kind of wish it started with the Y, like Yoda.
Who cares?
I don't. It's not a big thing, but
it's just cool getting a name. I guess.
One thing I want to say about episode 5 with Ahsoka.
All you, man. As a Clone Wars guy, all you.
Thank you, Ahsoka. One of my favorite characters. A lot of Star Wars fans who have seen Clone Wars know how incredible of a character she is. Seeing her live action debut, like I almost cried. Like seeing those white lightsabers, her just kicking ass. Incredible. And I think Rosario Dawson was amazing casting. People were complaining that her like things were too small, but I'm like, live action.
Just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it. You're getting Ahsoka. You're getting Ahsoka.
Jedi in the Mandalorian.
So yeah, relax. I was very happy with how she is, and with the news that we're getting a show with Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. The future is very bright for this character, and I think this episode was a great stepping stone for her into the future.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. I loved it. I loved seeing Ahsoka in a live action form. We both kind of said this, that when she showed up, it wasn't as climactic.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been cooler if it was like more climactic when she showed up, but like it was still cool seeing her and Mando working together. And then we get to episode 6, which was the Boba Fett. That was the tragedy episode.
Oh boy.
Where they take Baby Yoda, Grogu, and yeah, Boba Fett shows up. And I freaking love it. I love these Star Wars spin-offs and other content when it enhances the original trilogy. I think that should be the point of, or a major point of a lot of these spin-off shows and other content. Boba Fett, he's a classic, right? He's in the original trilogy, but we really don't see him in action, and we really don't see what he does. Like, we know he's awesome, and he's really, really good at what he does,
but we don't see it. We don't
see it. We hear about it, and we just expect it. But we saw it. And like the way he comes in with the armor, and the way the camera pans, him and Mando taking out everyone to defend Baby Yoda, Grogu, it was amazing. It gave so much justice to the character of Boba Fett. I was so happy that he continued. He didn't leave after that episode. He was in episode 7 and 8, and it was great. We'll talk about the end credit scene with him, but yeah, that was awesome to see and get justification and glory to the character of Boba Fett.
No, absolutely. And I think that reason, along with the action and just the moments made episode 6 my favorite out of the season.
Really?
Yeah, I think that it just like when we were watching it and like you and me just like seeing Boba Fett on screen, that was just amazing. And like the action, seeing like the Slave One come in the ship, just awesome. So many moments that just put a huge smile on our faces.
And again, it's not like they're dangling in front of us like, oh, you remember this?
Like, stupid Easter egg. Now go to the next thing.
We're going to make you like all these. It's like, no, these things have purpose and they drive the plot forward. And that's what makes season 2 really
Mando and Baby Yoda, Grogu they're the center of the story. Yes. So all this stuff supports it. And I think having Easter egg characters support that, perfect.
In a way that makes sense.
In a way that makes sense, yeah.
And then then we get to episode 7, and that's the episode with Bill Burr, where we saw him in season 1, and he kind of helps Mando get the coordinates for where Moff Gideon is. And yeah, I thought that was a really good episode as well. I think it kind of gave some layers to the Empire and kind of soldiers who were in that and who weren't really happy with what the Empire was doing.
Because you would think that stormtroopers are just blank slates, but they're not, as we see with Bill Burr's
and it ties back to the sequel trilogy with
Finn.
With Finn.
Yeah.
John Bodega's character and the deeper layers. And yeah, I mean, I think Bill Burr did a great job. But yeah, that was a great episode as well.
Now, episode 8, the season finale. This episode is very interesting. I personally loved it. Before we talk about the ending with all the craziness, I really liked the kind of heist feeling the episode had, where they're going in and Mando with this fight with Moff Gideon, especially with the spear and the darksaber. Incredible action there. And overall, I think this episode was just a great way to end it. Of course, I'm excluding the ending, but is there anything you wanted to talk about before we get started?
Action-packed, great finale. It just really ended in a great way. It kind of set the stones for what's going to happen in season 3. But yeah, no, I was very impressed with it. It was awesome. So in this episode, we get the big spoiler of the whole season. Luke Skywalker is in The Mandalorian. We think all hope is lost. And we see the X-Wing come in, and we were like,
that can't be Luke.
We didn't think it was Luke, because we were like, there's no way.
Maybe it's the New Republic.
Yeah,
but what are a few soldiers?
When it flew in, I thought it was the New Republic. Yeah. There was just one, and we were like, what? And then, the cloaked figure comes, and we're like,
that might be Luke.
Yeah, or it could be another Jedi.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a green lightsaber? And you see the green lightsaber. And it was like, oh my god. Luke Skywalker is here. And he just destroys all the music. Yes, dude. And he just destroys all the Dark Troopers, and he shows up, and you're just like, oh my gosh. Do you just want to give your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mentioned this to you after we ended. This is what fans wanted in the sequel trilogies. You wanted to see Luke at his prime, being a prime best Jedi he could be. And we didn't get that. So I think having a scene like this really spoke volumes to that they're listening to us. I think that's really cool. And again, like we said about Easter eggs, it's not like dangling a thing in front of our face, because Grogu called to a Jedi, so it makes sense that Luke would be the Jedi to answer that call. Absolutely. It fits like a puzzle. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was very happy with it.
I was really happy to see him. It was really emotional, but I was not a fan of the CGI. I just think that it's kind of disrespectful to actors. Why not just CGI all of it? Okay, what's the point then? I think you could have done it where you just kind of show him with his robe and he flips it and then it's just the back and it's just his head.
The camera's behind.
Your camera's behind. Mark Hamill, he's credited in the end credits. So that means he must have signed off on this, and he was the voice.
So I'm assuming he did the voice, and then I'm assuming that maybe they had him. We don't know. We literally just finished the episode. Yeah. Be the body, and maybe he had the tech on him to do the animation. Yeah. But again, it's I don't know. I'll say my thing, but finish it.
I just feel it just takes you out of the show so much, because you notice you're kind of looking at are they doing a good job? Does it look real? And you're really nitpicking in that, and then it takes you out of the show, and then you don't feel that emotion, and then it was great, because then that was the moment when Grogu and Mandalorian, which we'll get into, wow, that was emotional. Say goodbye. It took me a while to kind of get to that emotional part and be into it again. It took me out of it. I don't like it. Again, I think you could have done without it and just kind of moved along with it. We still would have got it. We all know it's Luke Skywalker, so it's why? So I'm not a fan of the CGI. That was my one flaw. My only thing that I didn't like about the last episode, the finale, was that they CGI'd Luke Skywalker. It was still amazing. I was super happy that they had him in there, but that was my...
So about your point about CGIing actors, I have a problem with it when it's someone who's passed away, because I feel like it's that then it gets kind of icky in the sense that like they're not a part of it. You know, you're kind of taking their likeness and doing whatever you want with it. But because we saw Mark Hamill in the credits, to me, I feel like that's Mark Hamill, and of course he voiced it like we said. So I was okay with it. I do get your point though about how it takes you out, because I remember I was like, wow, they're doing a pretty good job, but then he looked down, I was like, it looks all right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I do get where you're coming from, although I do disagree that I don't hate it. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But the goodbye between Mando and Grogu was just horrible in the sense that I was so sad. Filmmaking though was incredible.
Yeah. I was so happy that he got to be with someone who gets him in the sense of
The Force.
and the Force, but it was just so sad because it's like this relationship between them, and
Since the beginning.
yeah, he took off the helmet.
Yeah.
He took off the helmet to show Grogu, this is who I am, and he like reaches for his face. It's just such a beautiful emotional moment.
Barely any words.
I hope he comes in some point in season 3. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
likely. But he does say, "I will see you again," but who knows? I don't know, but it was sad.
Yeah, because like we said, the show's doing such a good job about having characters weave in and out of the story. So you don't want to weave in Grogu just to force him in. I don't think they will.
One point to add, I do think that this will present a challenge in season 3 because the show is called The Mandalorian.
Ooh.
But The Mandalorian, the show, is Mando and Baby Yoda. Since the beginning, it's been them up until this point. And the fact that now he's with Luke, which is great, and he might not come back, but now it's just The Mandalorian. And I know we have other characters. Again, the show was them two, and now you have that piece that's missing. Are you able to live up to... It's going to be a big task. It's going to be a big task for season 3. They have a couple things to address in season 3 as well, so we'll find out. But that'll be a tough task.
So kind of looking towards the future, my idea was that the end of season 3, Mando would return Grogu to the Yoda species. We would finally see them, and that would be the conclusion. Obviously, we went a different route. Now I don't know what's going to happen, and I thought that would be the end of the show, because I like you said, I think the Mandalorian show is about the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, Grogu. So now I don't know what's going to happen. You still have all the stuff with the Mandalorians and the Darksaber, which is very interesting. But, like you said, will that carry itself? And how many seasons can they go with this? Earlier we said only a season 3. I could see a season 3 and 4, like a two season starting over the Mandalorian society again. Mm-hmm. That would be pretty sick. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the two things that they need to address in season 3 are, one, who gets the Darksaber? Because Bo-Katan was not about to just take it. She was ready to fight Mando for it.
And we ended with them on the ship. So it kind of ended.
No,
yeah.
So that has to be resolved. And 2, yes, Mandalore, the planet of Mandalore. How is it restored? Will the Mandalorian be a part of that?
Will it be restored?
Will it be restored?
Yeah.
Because they have to come in with force because people are there right now.
Yeah.
They wanted to use the ship.
Yeah.
That could be a big battle. Those are the two things. Other than that, I really don't know what else. I mean, again, it'll be interesting, but I actually like your point that it might actually be 2 more seasons. Yeah. Just to kind of let it flesh out a little bit more and kind of build up again.
But yeah, we are both super happy with how The Mandalorian is going.
Great job, Lucasfilm, Disney. Like, you guys are doing an amazing job with this show. I can't wait for all the other new shows.
Yeah,
it is. It's going to be awesome.
Like, Episode 7 and Rogue One, it was amazing being a Star Wars fan. 8, Solo, and 9 kind of dipped, we could say. And really, Mandalorian and the promise of more content like The Mandalorian in terms of quality. It is great being a Star Wars fan. I think you said that after we finished watching The Tragedy. You were like, dude, I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
And I did not say that after 8 or 9.
No,
I did not say that after episode 8 or 9. And now I get to say it again, and I'm super happy. It's awesome.
So we actually forgot to mention about the post-credit scene of The Mandalorian Season 2, where we get Boba Fett taking over Jabba's palace, and with the promise of something called the Book of Boba coming out in December 2021.
There was some confusion as to whether the Book of Boba Fett was in fact Season 3 of The Mandalorian or a spin-off show. There were a few outlets and fans that came out, and it looks like it will be a spin-off show coming out in December 2021. And alongside Season 3 of The Mandalorian, we are both extremely excited for this spin-off show. Again, as we mentioned in the review, Boba Fett is an amazing character this season really did the character justice, and we can't wait to see more of Boba Fett.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you guys very soon. Take care.
Take care. Thanks.